What's going on, everyone? In this video, we're going to talk about some collegiate drills that can help you with your footwork and timing, whether this is for sparring or just learning how to engage and disengage in perfect single stick range. Mind you, all the sticks come in different shapes and sizes. This one that I'm using is about 28 inches. We hold it about one hand grip from the bottom, so give or take a couple steps or a couple inches depending on yourself and your target. Now we're going to predominantly be in the medium to long range area, but the first thing that we're going to look at is we're going to break it down into 3 different steps that can be used as 3 different drills. The beautiful part about it is that you can take all 3 of those drills, put it into one nice flow. Now I want to break down the drills and the strikes themselves, give you a bunch of detail, and I'll show you how it would look in proximity to a target. Step number 1, everybody, we're going to do a backhand snap, which is going to come from my left side, and a snap is hitting the target and returning to the point of origin. In this particular angle, we're going to do an angle 4. So if I turn my body to the side here, I'm going to start in my closed position. This is going to be about medium range. Think of it like a jab, okay? So when I do my 4 snap, there are one of 2 things I can do here. I can either shift back or I can step back. And notice when I step back, I'm switching my lead from my right lead now to my left lead. So the reason why I would do the first one, if I did the snap and my partner or my opponent came back with equal or greater aggression, I may not have the time just to step back and I want to stay locked and loaded, so I step back here, okay? If I was kind of just testing the area, giving a loose jab, if you will, and I was just kind of snapping here, I might have the chance to step back and have a partial load in my closed position. Either way you guys set it up, we're going to finish with what we call an arco strike. An arco strike in our system is a circular whip, or what most people know as whip tip. So instead of thinking of a giant circle like so, where I'm trying to stretch and reach, I'm under the assumption that they're coming towards us. So this arco strike is going up and down. And we really want to emphasize the downward motion so we get that nice whipping effect. So when I put it together, if I do my angle 4 snap, I slide back, that's going to be a little bit more medium to close range. Okay, again, we're assuming that our opponent is coming into us. If I was kind of loosely jabbing out that angle 4, a little bit more smoother. Okay, so that's going to be your variation number 1. Remember, when you guys are doing this variation, it's important to understand the context that you're training for. I know a big thing with the single stick and weapons in general is the sinawali or the carenza, the flow of it, which is great practice. Don't get me wrong. It's very essential to being able to explore creatively and be able to kind of map out all of these techniques you're using. What we are looking for today, ladies and gentlemen, we are looking for explicit and direct application. We're not trying to say, you know, when they get to this position, we can do this, this, that, that, that. We're saying when we get to this position, we are going to fire back with angle 4, and we're going to create distance to counter with a backhand arco strike. So the second part here, it's not a full second part, you can call it kind of like a 0.5. And in anastasia, this is known as angle 9, and it's also known as the sunrise strike. So if I were to do it on its own, and I was starting from my right lead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to step back, non-negotiable, with my right foot, because this is going to be a linear strike, which means it's not going to circle and loop around. If I did an arco strike, no problem, I can keep my foot here because my path is not set where I'm finishing at the bottom. I actually want to come back on top. But in this case, sunrise strike, we're going straight down to the ground. So as you guys are training this, don't be afraid to hit your ground. Obviously pay in mind to the condition of your stick and the ground that you're actually striking. But what I'm going to do here, whether from closed or open, it doesn't matter. I'm going to step back with my right foot. This strike is coming straight down. And notice that when I'm going down, I'm doing a couple things, everybody. So when I step back, my stick goes down. Number 1, I'm bending my knees, I'm not bending my back. I'm bending my knees down here and I'm loading the weight into my legs so that I can spring back up, which you'll see in section number 3. The second thing that I'm doing, as my legs are loaded, my eyes are forward, but I do know that my live hand and my weapon are now down on the ground. So if for whatever reason you didn't finish the job, which most likely you didn't with the stick, my safety hand comes up and is protecting my head. I know my level is now lower than my opponent's. So I want to make sure that I'm protecting my head, which will be a primary target, by using my safety hand. Now, is it ideal to block with my hand against the stick? No. But it is more ideal to use my safety hand than to use my head. So if I really, really have to sacrifice this hand, I'm gonna fire back with my loaded base here and my stick. My hand, give or take, is very valuable to me, but it's much more easier to continue onward without my hand than it is without my head. Okay, so if I did it from closed position or open, it doesn't really matter. This is a center line strike, so you can see where the stick is gonna strike is straight down. Okay? So, big thing here, everyone, make space with your foot so that when you follow through, you're not going to be afraid to hit your toes or stab yourself. Okay? Load the hip, and now we can fire back with section number 3. Section number 3 is going to be dependent on where your opponent is. We're going to have 2 finishes here, everybody. So when we use that sunrise strike, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to come back up with an angle 5. Now my angle 5 here is bottom right to top left. So angle 5 is what we call a forehand reverse slash. Okay? So I step back here. I'm going to step forward with that launch. I'm coming up. Now what I want to do is I want to do what I call a drop shot. Drop shot is just a dub variation of, we want to drop our level aggressively, and we want this strike now to almost feel like an angle 2, but it whips down. And again, here's kind of that same position that I was in for the sunrise strike. But notice that I didn't step back. And the reason why I do that, if I face you guys here, I do my sunrise strike, I step in with the angle 5, I'm coming with an angle 2, look, it almost creates a 90-degree angle to the outside. And the body language is a drop. I'm coming up, dropping. Okay? Sunrise, coming up, dropping. So once we do that drop shot, sometimes we use that to deflect our opponent's stick, sometimes we do it just to change the tempo, the timing of this exchange. And now when I do that, I'm going to see which way they react. Okay? If they come towards us, we're going to follow up with one more angle 5. This time I'm going to fade backwards. Okay, if you reference basketball, think of it like a fadeaway. And now I'm going to put the weight on my back leg here. Okay, so all together, from my sunrise strike, I'm going up with the angle 5, drop shot, up with the angle 5 again. If my opponent goes further away from me, we're going to do an angle 10, which to us is known as an upward thrust. So I finish my drop shot. I'm going to lunge forward with my hips. And I'm going to push upward. And I'm going to cover a lot of distance with this. Normally we're going to aim around the chest to the neck area here, or we're going to get what we can in a sparring exchange. But the idea is we're going to get that extra reach without taking the extra steps. So if our opponent is fading away from us, again, from my sunrise strike, I'm going up with the angle 5, drop shot, forward. Now, like I said, everyone, the beauty about this 3-section drill is you can put it all together very, very slowly. You can increase the explosiveness or the tempo of it when and where you feel is necessary. I'm going to go through it nice and smooth so you guys get an idea. But remember, do not get carried away with this Sinawali or the flow of it. Be focused on applying it where it matters and when it matters. So if I put it all together, I'm going to start over here from my closed position. We're going angle 4 snap, slide back, arco, sunrise strike, with the 5, drop shot, first variation. We finish with the angle 5. That'll get us back to our starting position to do it again. Angle 4 snap. Maybe I step back with the arco. I keep that right knee coming down here. Up with the 5, drop shot forward. And you have different kinds of variations when you do this. Play around with it, angle, don't just do it in one direction. This is strictly for educational purposes, but move around with it. 4, step back, boom. And you can break it up. It doesn't have to be smooth, 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 smooth. It could be a continuation of the last technique. It could be a new experience within the same kind of exchange. I do this, they do that, action and reaction. All right, so very simple drill, guys, but there's a lot of different ways you can change it up and make it your own. And I think that's the key to all the drills you guys do. Whether it's to P2P, whether it's a flow drill, whether it's knife, single stick, double stick, empty hand, learn to fraction that drill. Take what you need. An exchange in sparring or self-defense isn't going to be from the beginning of the drill to the end of the drill. We train it that way for structure, for the ability to keep it nice and respectful between my partner and I. But if I'm going to use it, I have to be able to practice it to the point that I can start to fraction and take what I need for that moment. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'll catch you guys in the next one.